there was a knock at the door, and then when the door was open, they just rushed all of them into our house. They just picked me up, put me into their big Land Cruiser, and just put a blanket on me and took me to wherever there was, because I was kind of blindfolded. The situation went to an extent that we realized that we can't stay there anymore, and we decided at that time that we need to leave the country. So that's why we left everything behind and got the first available flight to Canada, and we ended up here as refugees. Yeah, so we arrived with just $150, and when we landed in Montreal, the only place that we could go to, and we were actually sent to that place, was YMCA. And then at YMCA, all that you could stay there was 3 to 4 weeks, and then you had to find a place for yourself. You had to get some social assistance. You had to get all the information. But when I think about that time, I remember that we had absolutely, like, despite staying there for a month, other than some connections with other local refugees, we had absolutely no contact with any other agency or settlement agency that could help us.
A beach story is a tale of perseverance and hardship. It is also evidence that refugees will not put a strain in our country. Rather, they'll help us grow. While a beach story has a happy ending, the same thing cannot be said for millions of Syrians right now. Plagued by the Syrian civil war in 2011, combined with the rise of ISIS, Syrians are seeking refuge across the entire world, including here in Canada. In Ottawa, regular people are stepping up and taking initiative to help end this crisis. Louisa Taylor is the director of Refugee 613, a newly created nonprofit that helps people in Ottawa sponsor, donate, volunteer, and advocate for Syrian refugees.
Canada is one of the few countries in the world that has private sponsorship of refugees. So this means that groups of private citizens can get together and provide the money up front and the plan up front for how they're going to help a refugee come to Canada and settle here. We are a coalition of agencies, volunteers, city staff, a whole bunch of stakeholders who want to see Ottawa have a coordinated, coherent response to the global refugee crisis. When Canadians saw what happened to 3-year-old Alan Kurdi, it really moved people, and it really opened people's hearts and said, surely Canada can do more to be part of this crisis on the other side of the world. Churches in Ottawa have been leaders in this field. They have been doing this for years. The Catholics, the Anglicans, the Mennonites, the United, they are all out in front. And they are the ones we're all learning from, how to do this right.
One of the churches in Ottawa stepping up is St. Martin de Porres. Paul Soucie is a deacon at that church and has a long history of helping refugees.
You're seeing the largest migration of people across the continents in history. And it's all to do with war. 5–10 million people that are displaced in the violence and the horribleness of war. And you have to make a decision within yourself whether you're just going to close your eyes or leave it to the government or leave it to somebody else or just say, well, God, I hope and pray that everything's okay over there and just send them help. The reality is that we're the help. And I think each individual has to kind of search their hearts and ask the question, what is my responsibility? And I can see right now that things are starting to crank up. So we'll see how it all plays out. Again, remember, we're just in the infancy of this. We've only brought in 1,400 families. There's a lot in the queue right now. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. So as we ramp up all these things with the mayor and 611?
Refugee 613.
Refugee 613. Everybody's ramping up right now, just like we are. You know, we have 110 parishes in the Archdiocese of Ottawa. The Archbishop has asked everyone to do something. The Pope has basically said to the Catholic Church, which is, I think, 280,000 parishes across the world. Bring a family and do something.
For those looking to sponsor a family, faith and hope can only go so far, as sponsoring a family is a complex process. However, thanks to lawyers such as Katie Black, this process is becoming a little easier.
We came together to create this program to both educate the community in terms of the sponsorship process, to put on a legal clinic that was available to any member of the public, and then additionally to match lawyers from the private bar with individuals or groups who are interested in sponsoring refugees. Filling out the forms and correctly ensuring that all of the information is accurate and consistent is actually one of the greatest barriers to bringing people to Canada. These situations are very real, and a month, 2 months off the application process can make a huge difference. You look at people like those, and we can bring those people to this country and they can make a real contribution because they are grateful. They know what they have here. They know how lucky they are to be here. And it's incredible to be a part of an organization that is dedicated for this very purpose.
With the help of Refugee 613, Ottawa churches, and local lawyers, people of Ottawa are showing that nobody should be denied the right to a safe life. The city is ready to step up and can be Canada's leader throughout this crisis.